name is Vandana Das. I'm from Davenport Solicitors, the Manager Director and a Senior Solicitor there. The firm specialises in human resources, employment law and business immigration. So we're all about supporting businesses with their HR function. So whether that's drafting employment contracts, staff handbooks, advising on day-to-day HR issues, sponsoring migrant workers so that people can come from overseas and work for that company, or how businesses can actually employ overseas staff, we'll be able to support them on that.
So what is the process of employing staff from another company?
Well,
oh my gosh,
from overseas,
from another country.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if a company in the UK wants to sponsor a person from overseas, they need to obtain something called a sponsor license. Once they've got the sponsor license, they'll be able to issue what's called certificate sponsorships to those overseas workers, and then the overseas worker will need to apply for the appropriate visa, which is most likely to be a skilled worker visa.
Okay, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for the average consumer out there who doesn't know much about this area, how do you differentiate yourselves from the other companies in the field, and what's special about you guys and what you do?
I think both immigration law, especially business immigration law and employment law, are ever changing. There's constant changes, and businesses are generally so consumed in focusing on their own business and how to generate income that they forget about those parts of the business, which is human resources. And as we know, as a business grows, you need to take on employees, and it's very easy to forget what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. So it's really important for businesses to understand that they need to give staff employment contracts. So it is a mandatory requirement. By law, every employer needs to give their employee an employment contract. So that's the first thing I would advise any business to do when they take on their first employee. And staff handbooks, although not a legal requirement, it's a very good thing to have. It pretty much acts as a Bible for the employee and the employer. So although we don't want to think that things go wrong, when things do go wrong, they know exactly where to look and what to do, because all the policies and procedures are in one place. So it is a minefield. You need to stay on top of it as business owners. So that's where we come into play to support.
That's brilliant. Are there many companies that do what you do?
There probably are a few companies, but what makes us different is that we'll give you the law, but we'll give you also commercially focused advice. So we always speak to our clients and ask them what do they want to achieve, and we'll find the best solution to deliver that.
So do you have generalised advice on your website as well as personalised advice? What sort of format do you...
Well, all of our information is on our website. It provides information on various potential claims that an employer could face if an employee is disgruntled. You can find information about disciplinaries and grievances. So if an employee is dissatisfied with something in an organisation, what does an employer have to do? You can visit our website. It's www.davenportsolicitors.com.
Can you give me an example of more of the types of cases that you've worked on?
Well, it really ranges. Sometimes it's only internal, so it might be somebody who's raised a grievance about discrimination, whether it's sex or race, and we'll support the company in dealing with that grievance in line with the legislation. It would be a sponsor license, so a company may want to start recruiting from overseas, set up their business in the UK, so we'll go through that process. And obviously when things go wrong, there might be a litigation matter. So an employee takes the employer to a tribunal, an employment tribunal, and that's where we defend the employer in that litigation matter.
That's very interesting.
It is very interesting. I do enjoy what I do.
It's always good to hear. Well, before we head off, is there anything else that you'd like whoever's watching to know?
Well, just that, it's very easy to forget that HR is an integral part of your business, and it is important to get the right advice at the right time and be at the right place. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.